The Dodgers come back and win the wildest game of the year. Shohei Ohtani is inevitable. A massive 3-run shot in the 9th inning. The Dodgers get the win. We'll hear from Shohei Ohtani, Max Muncy, Dave Roberts. We'll break it all down. Hear from you guys. That's coming up next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Tommy Tank strikes again, and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Gibby! Meet Freddie! Tommy sends one in the air, the other way, back it goes! Gone! One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season!
What is up, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers win the craziest game of the year so far. They win by a final score of 14-11. They improve to 26-13 on the year. A game up of the Padres in the National League West, tied with the Detroit Tigers for the best record in baseball. And Shohei Ohtani, like he always seems to do, puts this Dodgers team on his back in a big moment, and you know he's going to come through, and he does exactly what you would expect him to do. Comes up in a big spot in the 9th inning, and he crushes a 3-run home run, a 3-run bomb for Shohei Ohtani, 113 miles per hour off the bat. Massive spot, goes 3 for 6, 12 home run of the year, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 2 runs. An incredible game, a tie game, a 11-11 game. And Shohei Ohtani steps up to the plate and just hits it like you expected him to do. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player in the sport and the greatest athlete in professional sports right now. Just an incredible showing in that inning, and give this Dodgers team a ton of credit. You blew an 8-3 lead. You weren't able to get anything going offensively in between the Chris Taylor bunt in the 3rd and the Mookie Betts 2-out single in the 8th. You enter the 9th inning, and you're trailing by 3 runs. It's an 11-8 game in the 9th inning. And the Dodgers, they scratch, they fight, they claw. You can never count the never say Dodgers. The never say die Dodgers are never out of it. And that was on display tonight in Arizona in front of what felt like 80%, 90% Dodgers fans. And that 9th inning was absolutely epic. You saw the championship medal that the Dodgers have. They finally just woke up at the plate against Arizona Diamondbacks reliever Kevin Ginkel. Freddie Freeman singled, and he ended up scoring on another Andy Pages RBI base hit. That made an 11-9 game. Kike Hernandez doubled down the left field line. Then Max Muncy, he comes off the bench, and he gets the game-tying hit for the RBI to tie things up at 11, and that set the stage for Shohei Ohtani. Terry Lavello, he opts to go with Thompson to face Ohtani, and Shohei down in the count 1-2, down to his last strike, and he gets a splitter on the inner half, hanging up there, and he absolutely obliterated. Just an incredible bomb by Shohei.
The 1-2 coming from Thompson. And Ohtani torches one, tosses the bat, and watches it fly.
First of all, just look at the pimp job there. I mean, just look at the pimp job there with the arms up. The exclamation point. Don't tell me that Shohei Ohtani doesn't have that dog in him. His dog is 10 out of 10. It's next level. And I might be reading a little too much into this. There's a chance. There's a chance. But after the game, I went right back to look at the grand slam that Lourdes Gurriel hit in the 5th inning that tied things up at 8. And look at the pimp job that he did. It looked very similar to the one that Shohei Ohtani did late in the game.
From Thompson. And Ohtani torches one, tosses the bat, and watches it fly.
Yeah, I think Shohei did it better. I think Shohei saw that, and he goes up there in a big spot, comes through, puts the Dodgers up 14-11, and I think that he took that personal. I think he used that as fuel. Of course, Shohei is always going to want to go up there, and he's always going to want to go up there and be productive, have success, but I truly think that he goes up there in that spot and absolutely had it out for this Diamondbacks team, made it personal, and hit that big bomb. But just what a moment. What a moment for the Dodgers, a team that, look, they probably were going to lose that game. They were dead in the water. The bats were quiet. Anthony Bonda gave him another grand slam. Roki Sasaki did not have his best night at all. Not a ton of swing and miss for Roki Sasaki in this one. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for Shohei Ohtani to have another moment like that, this is stuff we'll never forget. This is stuff we will remember as sports fans, as Dodgers fans, forever. I mean, we really, really will. I mean, that is it is pure cinema, right? It is pure cinema. You just can't script this. I mean, the fact that he finds himself up in those spots, in those moments, dread him, run from him. Ohtani arrives all the same. And he talked to reporters after the game about the moment, about the big win. Here was Shohei Ohtani after the big night. Another 3-hit game, couple doubles, big home run. Shohei Ohtani, best player on the planet.
What were you looking for in that at? How gratifying was it to sort of have that swing and that kind of crazy game?
打席何狙っていましたかと。本当になんていうんですかね。特に球種絞らずに甘い球を来たらプロと思ってたので、まあ最終的にああいう形にいい形で上がってくれてホームランになってよかったなと思います。I wasn't sitting on any pitch type, but I was just looking for a ball that I could, hit well.
Does it feel like, especially in those kind of moments, does things slow down for you at all? Does anything sort of change for you in those sort of moments? And how surprised are you that you're always able to sort of come up with these big swings?
こういう大事なチャンスの場面で結果を残せるっていうのは何か特別なことをしているんですか？特別なことはしてないです。コンタクトすることだけ最後は考えていきましたし、本当に同点になるまでの過程が一番9回はすごかったです。見ててすごかったなと思います。Nothing in particular that I'm doing that's providing these results. In terms of today, just the process of tying the game was really key.
How much more intense did that feel than just a normal regular season game?
そう何回もあるような試合展開ではもちろんないかなと思いますし、こっちが最初多く点を取って、向こうが追いつく展開も熱かったですし、最後あえてこっちが勝ち越して逆転して抑える展開もまた熱かったので、本当に素晴らしいゲームだったと思います。Yeah, really great game. It's not the kind of game we play a lot, but for us to score a lot, for them to come back, for us to come back again, it was a game with a lot of passion.
Just absolutely legendary stuff from Shohei Ohtani. Appreciate this man. Appreciate his greatness. This is a type of player that doesn't come around once in a generation, once in a lifetime. He comes around once in humanity, once in thousands of years. There will never be another Shohei Ohtani. He is one of one. He is the unicorn. He is Gotani. And tonight, he flexed his muscle like we've seen him do all year long so far, his whole time with the Dodgers, flexing his muscle, pimping it with the best bat flip you're going to see all year, arms up with 80% Dodgers fans lots of them wearing Shohei Ohtani jerseys. It was pure cinema, like the Martin Scorsese meme. It was just an incredible, incredible moment. And we could just talk about Ohtani all day, and we will continue. And I'll read some comments here. We'll continue to break this one down. Ron Fig says he is a super fractor. We've got what a wild game from Court the Crusaders. Snakes on a plane pose. There you go. Bonda is the winkest link. We'll talk some Anthony Bonda a little bit. And then Parker Lee. I love that you bring that up. Not only does he hit a big home run, his numbers are MVP level, right? He's ahead of his pace from last season now. I mean, I don't expect 50 stolen bases again because they're being more cautious with him, and he's going to be pitching at some point around the All-Star break. But he now has 12 home runs. What is the MLB lead right now? The MLB lead for home runs is 12. Who did he tie? Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Kyle Schwarber. He is tied for the league lead in home runs. He's hitting 304. He's slugging 655. His weighted runs created plus at 190 is higher than it was in his MVP season where it was 181. We are seeing Superman in baseball cleats in Shohei Ohtani. And I do think that he took that personal. Look, you guys tell me down below, do I think I'm making too much of this? Am I crazy? Am I crazy with that? Am I crazy to think that he was responding to that? Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. I got you guys want to talk some Alex Vesia. Again, I'm getting postseason vibes in here, guys. What's up, D-Mac? What's up, Tim G? What's up, McFarland's, Aaron M, Dave Palanca, Kenny Chung? Not letting Vesia off the hook either just because Bonda is the blank of the season. Vesia has been giving up the long ball as well with less innings pitched. Guys, I will tell you that the players do watch this show. They hear this. So, yeah, you got to be careful a little bit. Let's be honest here. But this is the Dodgers Nation post-game show. It is the place for you guys to get out all your thoughts, comments, and questions and react to Dodger baseball. But I do want to give love to Max Muncy. And we'll continue to talk some more Shohei Ohtani. Absolutely. This is one of many incredible, legendary, memorable nights for the greatest player on the planet. But how about Max Muncy in this one? Having the year he's had, you know it, I know it, and he pinch hit for Miguel Rojas in this one, and then he gets an opportunity in that ninth inning with the Dodgers trailing after Kike's double made it an 11-10 game. Max Muncy stepped up to the plate with the runner in scoring position. He singled to right. That scored Kike. That made an 11-11 game. So one of the many positives from tonight, and yes, there were some negatives, and we're not going to let anyone off the hook. We're going to talk about those in a little bit. But Max Muncy having a big moment in a big spot. He had a hard hit ball yesterday, a 2-hit game yesterday, a ground rule double, and then that's 2 consecutive games with big hits for Max Muncy. Let's not forget, this is the guy who's a multi-time All-Star, a multi-time World Series champion, top 10 in Dodgers home runs all time. Someone who's averaged 32 home runs in his full season. So how about Max Muncy tonight, and how about your Los Angeles Dodgers? Did the Doomers go to sleep? Did the haters go to sleep and miss that? When it was an 8-3 game? Because if they did, that's their punishment, and it's your reward for continuing to watch this game, because this could be the wildest game of the season. I did get reminded of the Teoscar Hernandez game last season against the Rockies, where they come back, and it was the first time that the Dodgers had come back since that wild game in Colorado last June. So just an incredible night. But Max Muncy having that big moment was huge, and hopefully this can spark something in him. He's already looked better in the last 2 games. Here was Max Muncy after the game reacting to the Dodgers' epic 14-11 comeback win against the D-backs.
Specifically looking at that 9th inning, it was clear you all just kind of had a refusal to lose. What does a comeback in a battle like that inning say about this group?
It says a lot, you know. It's a tough game to get up that much, lose that lead, and then, you know, their closer comes in the game. It's just a tough job, and a lot of really good at-bats string together. It's just really fun to watch, really fun to be a part of it.
Just for you personally, just how rewarding was it just to kind of come in the clutch in a moment like that?
It was huge. You know, in that situation, my only job is to try to get a ball on the ground to the right side, move the runner to third, and, you know, not try to do too much with it. And so for me, got a ground ball over there and got rewarded for it, and so it was it was fun.
What does a game like that feel like, just considering obviously kind of understanding what that team is over there and kind of the back and forth nature of everything?
Yeah, it was a tough game. It's that's something that we try to preach in this clubhouse is you can't ride the emotion too much. You got to try to find a way to stay steady, and I felt like we did a pretty good job of that this game. Got up big. They brought in a guy out of the pen who did a really, really good job. He was, throwing really good stuff from what I could see, and then, they took the lead, unfortunately, but we never gave up and battled back down there at the end.
When Shohei steps in the ninth, are you already planning the party?
Yeah. No. You guys have heard me say it how many times. Show keeps getting put in these spots that you expect the incredible, and he rarely disappoints, and that was no different there.
Obviously, it's one game, but how energizing can playing a game like that, winning a game like that be, especially when you're going through a long season and trying to, not think too much big picture? Can that just kind of put a jolt into the year a little bit?
Yeah, it can, and it's again, like I was just saying, we try to preach steadiness in this clubhouse. Don't let the highs get too high, don't let the lows get too low, and this game is obviously a big win, and it can provide a lot of energy for us, but we got to find a way to maintain just steadiness throughout, and obviously you try to carry a little momentum over from the night before, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
Some of the earlier games this season where kind of no matter what happened earlier innings, you're finding ways to come out on top?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of guys not trying to do too much and stand within themselves and just putting together a lot of really good at-bats.
And that's what you saw. A lot of really good at-bats, especially in that ninth inning. They did have that cold spell. And he did mention Christian Mania, who was really, really good after Erod had absolutely blown it. Eduardo Rodriguez, top of the third inning, gave 5 runs on 4 hits. Pages had the RBI single. Outman grounded to a fielder's choice that scored Kike. There was a throwing error on Naylor that scored Pages. That put the Dodgers up 7-3. And then Betts hit a sac fly to center that scored Rojas. That made it 8-3. And then Mania comes in. He struck out Freeman, and then he would go on an absolute tear, just shutting down this Dodgers offense. He faced 12 hitters, had just 1 walk, and he was putting up zeros. They just couldn't touch him, and the Dodgers just really couldn't figure things out till late. But, yeah, drop some comments down below. What is your reaction? We're going to talk some Anthony Bonda. We're going to talk some Alex Vesia, this taxed Dodgers bullpen, and then we'll get to some Roki Sasaki. But what a win for the Los Angeles Dodgers, because now we know Shohei's going to do crazy things, right? We know Shohei's going to be Shohei. MVP Shohei did MVP Shohei things, right? He had his fingerprints all over this one. He's the reason why you pretty much scored all these runs, right? He is the sun to the Dodgers universe. And even early on, he got the double in the first inning that Freeman got the sac fly on later in the inning that made it 1-0 Dodgers. And then in the second inning, he got the double that scored Rojas that added another run. He was the reason why this offense did what they did tonight for the most part. But I think just a major positive in this is guys that have been struggling had success. Kike Hernandez hit an absolute moonshot. He hit one of the deepest home runs, the 3rd deepest home run he had ever hit in his career in this one. He had an absolute blast, and it's good to see stuff like that. Kike in the second inning, a 438-foot home run that gave the Dodgers a run. That was the 3rd longest home run he's ever hit. Chris Taylor lays down a bunt, and you see some positive results. Max Muncy, we talked about him, and then how about Michael Conforto? Because look, you guys, I'm not going to teach you how to fan. Okay, you have every right to heckle, to boo, as long as you don't cross the line. Trust me, this is the place for you guys to get things off your chest like that. Trust me, I totally welcome it. But hey, can you imagine this chat tonight? I go live. If it's a win, it's a loss. I go live no matter what, right? Can you imagine this chat in an 11-11 game with Michael Conforto at the plate there in the 9th inning after James Outman had just struck out? Can you imagine if Michael Conforto grounds into a double play there to end the game? Instead, he wore one. He got hit by a pitch. That led to the pitching change, and that led to the Shohei Ohtani home run. So, hey, Michael Conforto did not start tonight. He came off the bench. Give Dave Roberts some credit, too. I mean, look, you had the Muncy pinch hit for Rojas, and then Conforto enters the game. Guys were productive, and this is going to be a competitive division. This is going to be a competitive division. The Diamondbacks are a good team. I can't believe they're at 20-19. I mean, I'm surprised that they're 20-19. They look like a much better baseball team. But let's read your comments, guys. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Friday night, 11 o'clock, still buzzing. Lynn Hayes says, go Ohtani. Tayo Serrano over on YouTube says, what a game. Master Blaster, Ohtani saved Roberts' decision-making. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to poke some holes in Dave Roberts' decision-making tonight, look, I mean, you wanted a leverage situation. You wanted a leverage situation for Alex Vesia, and Alex Vesia ended up giving up home runs, but with a 4-run lead, the Dodgers with a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 5th inning, you put Anthony Bond in there, and he comes into the game. It's a tough situation. Sasaki walked Marte to start the 5th. That was the end. Dave Roberts comes and takes the ball out. And look, I'm curious to see what Dave Roberts had to say about why he took Roki out when he did, because Roki has made it clear he wants to be able to pitch at least 5 innings. And tonight he was not great by any stretch, but he had thrown just 61 pitches. The issue is the swing and miss was not there at all whatsoever. 0 strikes for Roki Sasaki on the night, and he ended up with just 4 swings and misses. He gave up 5 runs on 5 hits, 4 innings of work, gave up 2 home runs. Home runs continue to be a problem for Roki Sasaki. And just talking to people within the Dodgers, I mean, they keep telling me, hey, he needs to learn to pitch better on the inner part of the plate, on the inner half of the plate, working the inside part of the zone, especially against righties. When you watch Roki Sasaki, you're seeing he's not trying to take that inner part of the plate. And in the bottom of the 1st inning, gave up the home run to Marte. Where was that home run hit? It was to right. Where was the ball? It was on the outer half. He crushed it. The other home run to Eugenio Suarez. Where was the contact made? On the outer part of the plate. And those 2 home runs were killer. He has to continue to figure things out. But Dave Roberts made this decision that he made, I think in large part, which is because the stuff was not playing for him tonight. And the Diamondbacks, they go and they face Anthony Bond in the bottom of the 5th inning. They load the bases, 1 out, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit a grand slam. The second grand slam the Diamondbacks have hit in as many games, and that changed everything. It tied things up at 8, and then the next inning, Anthony Bond back out there, and he loads the bases again for Josh Naylor. 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning, but credit to Bonda. He did get him swinging at strike 3. Nice slider. And then Luis Garcia came in. He walked Suarez and Perdomo. That put the Diamondbacks up 9-8. But I do think that the concern level is going up for Anthony Bonda. I love Anthony Bonda. Honestly, as nice as a guy you can get. Like, I pretty much call him a friend at this point. You know, I really like Anthony Bonda as a dude. He's a fantastic human. Great year last year. But this year has gotten off to a slow start. And he's had his issues. He's given up a couple grand slams just in the last 10 days. And it's starting to concern me, because you wonder if that stuff is going to play. We know how volatile relievers can be, and you're just not seeing him get a hit of hitters. I mean, he walks Suarez on 4 pitches, and he's just missing arm side with that 4-seam fastball. The pitch to Gurriel, that's a sinker. They want him to bury it down in, leaves it up. So he's just not commanding. And the thing about commanding, if I always say, if you want to be the man, you have to have the command. But commanding doesn't just mean throw it in the zone, throw it in the zone, throw it in the zone. It means throw it where you want to throw it and hit your spot, even if that's slightly outside of the zone, to try to induce some swing and miss, try to keep the hitters honest. And it's becoming a problem, because he's just leaving sliders up, doesn't have that same depth, doesn't have that same bite, and it's starting to become a concern, because Anthony Bonda, very talented, has a lot, 97 mile per hour fastball with nice glove side run, arm side run. He's got a slider that he can back foot and throw in the zone, but clearly tonight He just did not have it, and that's just been an issue for him. And now on the season, Anthony Bonda tonight, he gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, a home run, had 3 walks in an inning and 2/3. His ERA for the season up to 4.82, his FIP up to 5.78. The expected numbers aren't good. He's getting hit hard, and it's definitely becoming a concern because, I mean, look, a weird stat for the Dodgers having the best record in baseball, tied with the Detroit Tigers, is that the Dodgers actually have given up more grand slams than anyone. And they've given up more grand slams than anyone in the league. So that's definitely a concern for sure. So you definitely just don't want to see that trend continue. And Anthony Bonda, he's definitely on the concern list right now. And then you have to mention Alex Vesia. So Alex Vesia, I think for him, I'm less concerned about just because he has been worked hard. Like I said, he's been worked harder than a Panda Express employee during a Dodgers win streak. And Alex Vesia tonight, he gave up the second home run that Marte hit on the night. It was a solo home run, the bottom of the 8th, and that stretched out the Diamondbacks' lead. And you got that. Then next, he gave a home run to Randall Grichuk. They made an 11-8 game. So he gave a couple home runs. I think with Alex Vesia tonight, it was as simple as just leaving stuff out over the plate. But I do think with Vesia, you have to start looking at the innings. I mean, he's pitched in more than half of the Dodgers games this season. And he's right towards the top of the league leaders when it comes to relievers in games pitched and innings pitched. And right now, I think there is a concern level with how overworked Alex Vesia is. But let me know down below. Are you guys concerned about Anthony Bonda? Are you concerned about Alex Vesia? I'm going to get to those super chats. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation postgame show, the #1 Dodgers postgame show in the game. Tim G, low-key heroes, Kike, Freddie, Max, Tanner, Scott. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes this game so much fun. And we talked about Kike, hit a home run, had the big hit late. Tanner Scott has – this is the thing. Like relievers are kind of like kickers in the NFL, right? I mean, you only really talk about them when they're not having success, when they're messing up, right? When they're shanking field goals, when they're blowing saves, when they're giving up home runs. We're not talking a lot about Tanner Scott lately because he's doing his job. He's doing what $72 million relievers should be doing, and he's being that elite closer. I mean, he made light work of the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th inning. He got a couple strikeouts to end it. The velocity's up, the slider's better. You mentioned Freddie Freeman. He's continuing to put together an MVP season. I still think Shohei runs away with the MVP because I think he's going to make 10 starts, and once you pitch and you hit like that, it shouldn't be close. He should get a unanimous MVP again. It shouldn't be close, right? But Freddie Freeman was really good again. He goes 2 for 4 in this one, and he had his fingerprints all over this one as well. Fredericks of Hollywood was major. I mean, he's the guy who got the sacrifice fly early. He got a double in the 3rd. That set up a run. I mean, he's always contributing in major ways. And then top of the 9th, he reached on that infield single to 3rd. So, I mean, Freddie Freeman is if the aliens came down, right, he needed a hit, he's the guy you want at the plate, right? Just ask Nestor Cortez and that Yankees team, right? So you guys say Ohtani, Cinema, love that. Ed Sabatka, can't wait for the Padres and the Giants. Ohtani is the man. Here we go. How about this? Mark Pryor got ejected in this one. I mean, this was such a wild game. We'll be ready for the recap after, do the highlights after, but voice over the breakdown after this. Anthony Banana, we got Bring Up, Ripley, we got Baby Steps. So which reliable reliever is left? I mean, Evan Phillips on the IL. Before the game, Dave said they did take some imaging. There is inflammation. It's going to be longer than expected. You saw Michael Kopech yesterday threw 18 straight balls, walked 5 straight hitters. It's the relievers. Blake Trinan's not even picking up a ball yet. He's on the 60-day IL. Bruce Dargratto's not back yet. I mean, yeah, they're going to need to trade for a reliever. A top level reliever. You just know that, just how this stuff plays out, the way this stuff works. I mean, relievers, pitchers, the kind of pitchers that they're after. Guys, the Dodgers understand this. The harder you throw, the better you're going to be. The higher your spin rate, the more effective you are. Those are the guys they want. They're also the guys that are more susceptible to injury. So, look, I mean, a lot of guys with the Dodgers have been injured this season, and remarkably, they still have the best record in Major League Baseball. But we got J Kidd 323. The way Roki is pitching lets me know Bobby Miller was the NPB league. He would dominate that league. Parker Lee, the guy, was as advertised as a 100-mile-per-hour pitcher. I've yet to see him even throw high 90s even. Parker Lee, I mean, his first strikeout when he struck out Suzuki in Tokyo was close to 100 miles per hour. And if you guys, I highly recommend watch my interview with my friend, the great Jose Mota today, and we went in depth on Yamamoto and Roki and Shohei and talking about why his velocity is lower. And the reason is because the command isn't great when he goes triple digits and when he can't control it in the zone when it's 98, 99, 100. Now, he has it, right? He's got that Ferrari in the garage. He's just taking the Porsche right now because he can't drive that Ferrari, right? So that's going to take some time. It wasn't the best night. And look, you can talk to pitchers. They don't love pitching Arizona. That was like Coors Field tonight on both sides. I mean, you had a 14-11 game, right? The Dodgers scored 2 touchdowns tonight, right? So you look at that, and Yamamoto's start yesterday, Roki's tonight, and we'll see how the rest of this weekend plays out. But it's not a pitcher's-friendly park, clearly, right now, and he still has room to grow. So we'll wait and see with that. But there's just more comments that we're going to hear from Dave Roberts. Bonda level of concern equals 9.2. That's from Prone to Thrill. Dave sometimes has brain fog. A.U. Potter. Yeah, look, I mean, there was a weird tight zone in this one that I think was frustrating for the Dodgers hitters in this one. I think we kind of saw that one in this one as well. I mean, think about this. I mean, Mark Pryor, he was noticeably, visibly upset in this one. I'm going to try to get the clip for you guys, see if we can get it. But, yeah, Mark Pryor was not happy about this one, just getting ejected. And, look, the Dodgers, they still prevailed. They still were able to fight back in this one and have some clutch hitting, get those timely hits. And that's kind of the difference, right? I mean, sometimes your pitchers aren't going to be having their days, and that's what makes this Dodgers team so difficult to beat because it's 9 innings. It's not 5, 6, or 7. The game's long, and a lot of times game gets too long for the opponent, and we saw that tonight. You had to face Shohei Ohtani one more time. Did you see how petrified Terry Lovello looked when he went out there to take the ball from Ginkel and give it to Thompson? He knew it was over. You knew he was going to get a big hit. I knew he was going to big hit because everyone knows that in those spots, more often than not, Shohei Ohtani is going to come through in a big spot. We saw that. And this Dodgers team, even though they did go cold, they were a long stretch. They still went 6 for 13 with runners in scoring position. In this one, they held that Diamondbacks team to 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, despite the fact they were able to get a lot of runs off of home runs. And this series, 14 of their 16 runs have come via that long ball. So the Dodgers have given up too many home runs the last 2 games. You need to improve on that for sure. Some kind of wonderful, a $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Bonda and the rest of the pen have been overused is the problem. D-Mac should let Rookie go finish the inning. That was on Dave. Yeah, I mean, look, we're going to hear from Dave in a second here, and they're going to ask him about that for sure. I think that he could have easily finished that inning, and at the very worst, you're probably going to give up a run or 2, maybe gives another home run. They had some high-stress innings, and with this thing, I'll tell you, the Dodgers, they have, I mean, look, for better or worse, they have access to analytics and data that you don't even see on Baseball Savant. That kind of lets you know if a pitcher's stuff is declining during the course of his start, whether it be his effectiveness, the movement, the spin rate. And I guarantee you they were seeing him out there not being effective and his stuff trending downward, and that was the impetus for that decision. And the fact that he's a 23-year-old rookie that they're thinking long-term about. They're not even just this season. They got him for 6 years, right? They have him for 6 years. Let's not forget that. But you're absolutely right. And if you guys watched the episode I dedicated to the Dodgers bullpen earlier this week, that was one of my top-level concerns is, yeah, look, you went on that vacation, right? And you did a lot of fun stuff. You come back from that vacation, now you have to pay for it, right? And right now, those pitchers have been kind of on a little bit of vacation, and the relievers have had to hold it down all season long, and it's starting to rear its ugly head at this point. I mean, you look at right now in all of Major League Baseball, the Dodgers, their relievers, they've pitched 164 innings. That's first in all of Major League Baseball for relievers. The second closest is the Mets. I mean, it's crazy when you look at that. I mean, it's wild. It's wild when you look at where the Dodgers are at with their pitchers and their relievers. But here was Dave Roberts after the game. We'll hear what he has to say about Roki Sasaki and his decision to pull him. Here was Dave Roberts after the Dodgers' big win in AZ.
When it comes to, I guess, this just rivalry matchup with, I guess, divisional rivalry matchup.
I think so. You know, it's there's a lot of familiarity. It's, you know, I think Torrey does a fantastic job with their club and how they play the game. It's a tough, gritty team, and so you know you got to strap in every time you play those guys, and they don't quit, we don't quit, and it was good to see us persevere tonight.
There's obviously a lot of just kind of up and down in this one, but with that ninth inning, what does it say about your team and just how they showed so much fight there?
It says a lot. You know, Freddie gets that, you know, blocked base hit, and then Kike has a big hit. It just kind of kept going. Muncy had a big hit right there, Pages, and it was just really fun to watch us just continue to fight. And obviously, we didn't pitch well tonight, but I thought the defense was sound. There was no quit in our ball club, and you know, potentially losing the first 2 games of the series, now having a chance to win Game 3 with Gonsolin tomorrow, we're in a pretty good spot. I wasn't. I just felt that the offense did enough to win the game at that point in time, and to not pitch well, it's frustrating because that just kind of you know, puts other guys in the game, and you know, you're trying to win ensuing games as well. And so I just feel that, you know, we're better than we've pitched, and fortunately our offense picked us up tonight. It did. It did, and you know, we just were ready to hit, and we've seen Ginkel a lot over the years, and we just took some good at bats.
You see that emotion showing after that swing? Is that just emotion from coming through? Is that emotion from the type of game, the atmosphere? Like what sort of is behind that?
I think all of the above. You know, it's you know, you have a game and you feel good about it. You're playing a division rival. They're starting to gain momentum in the series, and we fight our way back, and we take the lead with a big homer, and he sees his teammates fighting, and you know, guys trying to, you know, keep us in the ball game. So that was kind of the climax of that moment, and it's good to see him show emotion like that. It was great. Yeah, he was, and the thing is that all the guys do, they're doing their best, and Eric was doing his best, but you know, there was some pitches that swung counts, and certainly that Luis Garcia at bat to Suarez, and that changed, you know, that inning, the scoreboard, and so, you know, it gets emotional, all of us, and so obviously it's nothing personal, and you can't argue balls and strikes, and Eric did what he's supposed to do.
With everything that you've seen Shohei do in the 2 years you've had him, does anything cease to amaze you anymore?
No, he's you know, between him and Barry Bonds, that's the 2 best players I've ever seen. I play with Barry, but what Shohei does in the clutch, I've never seen anything like what he does in the clutch.
Did you go out to talk to him after Mark got ejected, and kind of what was
I did. I was trying to diffuse it a little bit, and I just wanted to kind of support Mark, but understand where Eric was coming from.
When you have all that happen in one game, like, does it feel like more than just one win on a random night in May to be able to pull that out?
It does. You know, I think that, you know, the series is level now, and, you know, as opposed to being down 0-2 in the series, and those guys are feeling really good with Burns going tomorrow. So I think our bullpen is in a really good spot, considering kind of how the game went, to win the next 2 games. So it was a big emotional game.
What are you seeing from Roki tonight?
I just felt tonight he was laboring from the outset. You can tell by facing 20 hitters and not one strikeout. Guys are taking really good swings. He didn't have tonight to put guys away. And, you know, so I think at that point in time, you know, there's a point where I feel that we got to make a change, and, you know, Anthony's got to come in and do his job. And that's part of it. And he didn't do his job tonight. So, but as far as Roki, I just felt that it wasn't a rest situation. I just don't think that he was particularly sharp tonight. And commanding the fastball, the split, all that stuff. So, you know, whether it's the miss with the fastball in certain counts, and it's all dependent on the sequencing and how you get to 2 strikes. And so he got to a lot of 2-strike counts, and, you know, and one classic case was the 0-2 to 4-2 to Marte, you know, in the 5th inning. And so you get count leverage, and you got to be able to kind of wipe guys out when you get count leverage like that. And just tonight, he just couldn't do it.
It goes Dave Roberts, courtesy of Sportsnet LA, our friends over there. And yeah, as you said, I mean, look, Roki Sasaki, like I said before that, he just wasn't sharp. They saw that, and they made the move. And he referenced the at-bat there against Marte late now when he does get up in the count. He's up 0-2, had the splitter, got a strike looking, got a strike swinging, and then goes on to throw 4 balls, and then he walks him, and he misses with that 4-seam fastball badly, was missing with the splitter really badly. So late in that start, Roki was really losing it very, very quickly. I know people were pissed about the fact that Dave Roberts came and took the ball and gave it to Anthony Banda, because Banda ended up giving up that salami there, giving that grand salami there, and you don't like to see that. But, I mean, would Roki Sasaki giving up a couple runs there, I mean, and then eventually going to go to Banda anyway, invest you anyway. And, yeah, I think there's a chance of that. Someone did in the chat, I believe we got a super chat that said Luis Garcia is one of the Dodgers' best relievers. This is from Miki O, says $4.99. Appreciate that. Garcia is probably our 3rd most reliable bullpen option at the moment. Yeah, I mean, look, with Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates, I mean, give Luis Garcia some credit, because the reason why Mark Pryor got ejected and Jeremy Raddick, I mean, that umpire was just absolutely blind. I mean, going full-blown Stevie Wonder tonight behind the dish, and the pitch that really pissed him off there was it's an 8-8 game in the 6th inning, and Luis Garcia comes in to face Suarez, and he ends up walking Suarez with the bases loaded. That led to a run that scored Perdomo that made it a 9-8 game. If you look at that at bat, it's a 9-pitch at bat. He's battling. I mean, just 3 foul balls in the 9th pitch. It was a sweeper that caught the top of the zone. It should have been a strike, and that should have gotten the Dodgers out of the inning, and the game should have been tied. And Mark Pryor wasn't happy about it. Dave Roberts wasn't happy about it. Here, let's take a look at Mark Pryor. Actually, wait a minute. Let's take a look at Mark Pryor. He was really, really upset about that.
There's a lot of
about that moment, and
I think Torrey does a fantastic job.
Yeah, he gets ejected, and that's where it was at. It was just let me try to find it for you guys in a second, because I really want to see. It's pretty hilarious to see Mark Pryor this upset in this situation, because, I mean, for him to go out there and for Mark Pryor to be pissed, that certainly is something you don't see that often here. Give me 1 second here, guys. And yeah, that was kind of a moment that really, really resonated, because, I mean, the thing is, look, at some point you're going to have moments like that throughout a season where you're dealing with stuff and you're not getting your calls. It's on the road. You're on a 10-game road trip. And sometimes, look, it's an opportunity to light a fire under your guys. It's an opportunity to really go out there and say, you know what, like, we're not having it tonight. I mean, enough's enough. We know that the ABS, automatic balls and strikes, the challenge system is on its way. It's going to be coming at some point next season. And that is going to change the entire sport, because you just can't have bad moments like that lead to wins and losses. I mean, you just cannot see that. And that was a perfect opportunity to kind of light a fire under your team. Mark Pryor did just that. Here was Mark Pryor in this moment.
Between innings, there was a discussion between Jeremy Rehak, the home plate umpire, Mark Pryor, the pitching coach for the Dodgers, was animated involved. He was out of the top step, and then Doc came to the first base line and had an intention.
I love it. Pryor was the F you, F you, F you. It was good times. It was good times. Loved seeing that. But all right, guys, couple more here in the Dodgers Nation post-game show. What epic one. What epic night. It's great to be a Los Angeles Dodgers fan. I'm telling you, I know that if you're watching this show, that you've watched this team. You probably grew up on Vin Scully. Sean Green was probably your favorite player at one point. Matt Kemp was probably your favorite player at one point. Kirk Gibson, whoever it is, right? This is the diamond age, the golden age of Dodger baseball. 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years from now, I don't think we're ever going to have it as good as we do now. Never say never, but I truly do believe that. I don't think Dodger baseball is ever going to be as good as it is right now. To have a player like Shohei Ohtani do what he did tonight, hit that bomb, celebrate the way he did, I think that for a team that's in the last leg of a 10-game road trip is exactly what you needed, and you come back, score 6 runs in the 9th inning. 6 runs in the 9th inning for the Dodgers, and then Tanner Scott closes it out there in the 11th. But some final thoughts here, some final thoughts from you guys, and then we'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday night here on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, by the way, welcome to the Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers post-game show on YouTube. Park Early, a $10 super chat. Is this a sign that the bullpen was really great at the beginning of the season while we had the winning streak going, that the bullpen is running on fumes? Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, this bullpen, they're tired. They're overworked. They've had a lot of run. And early on the season, it's compounded by the fact that Blake Snell makes just 2 starts. You paid a guy $182 million. He's made just 2 starts. Tyler Glass now left 2 starts early. One because his cleats, I guess, he couldn't get a grip on the mound, which I thought was strange. I mean, I think you got to pitch through that, if we're being completely honest. And the second one, because he felt his shoulder grab and wasn't feeling okay. And then you're building up guys like Roki Sasaki and Yamamoto and Roki are pitching once a week on that college baseball schedule where you got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and those types of schedules. You're working Tony Gonsolin back. You got Dustin May coming back. And then, yeah, this bullpen overly taxed. And you had the fact, too, you start your season early in Tokyo for sure. We've got T-Mac got a new co-host. Yeah, a little video malfunction there. I like it. Snakes. I'm glad Pryor got pissed. Yeah, that was fun to see. A.M. Sanchez, what's up? Pryor for MVP. Yeah, you know what? Let's give Shohei Ohtani the Dodger dog of the game. Let's give Shohei Ohtani before we head out of here. But I think we could add Pryor, too. He had that Dodger dog of the game, too. Shohei Ohtani and Mark Pryor.
Dodger dog of the game.
Love seeing that. Love seeing that. We got epic win for sure. Roberts needs to learn to pick up the phone. That's from Jasmine Lopez over on YouTube. A.U. Potter Garcia's slider should have been strike at the top of the zone. Exactly. I mean, you see it again. I think that the umpire was almost surprised that it caught the zone because of the previous pitches. I think that that's where it was too. But still, a strike's a strike. Should have been called one. It led to a run because you walk with the bases low, and you hate to see that. But yep, this team misses Teo. They miss at Tommy Edman. They still are able to win games on the road in dramatic fashion. So love to see that. But all right, guys, Justin Sutterfield, I'm trying to get as many super chats as I can. Let me go back and see. Got Parker Lee's. Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch. I'll make sure I get any of the super chats. Antonio's producing from remote, so we'll get Tony Taters in on this. So he'll give me these next time. But I think I pretty much got all of them. If I missed any, we'll go back and we'll read them on tomorrow's show. So I apologize if I missed any super chats. But thank you for joining us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. An incredible night. Read a couple more arcane shadow. The Dodgers win, and so does baseball. Pure cinema. I was not ever really a baseball fan, but a basketball fan. But the Dodgers have made me a baseball fan now, and I like it more than basketball now. Wow. Comment of the show for you. I like that. I like that. I'll give you a fire take. That was pretty awesome. You gotta love that. I mean, it's pretty cool to see so many new Dodgers fans.
You win. Perfect.
Yeah, let's embrace it. Go get a torta, D-Mac. Eddie Hernandez. Yeah, I'm hungry. I'll get a torta right after that for sure. Keys were still in first place for sure. Banda may be done. Bottom may be done. No control in his high leverage situations. Yep. We'll talk some more of that. Marcus Anthony, appreciate you joining me. Appreciate all you guys. What a great night for the Dodgers. Great night to be a Dodgers fan. Thank you so much for joining us here. Got a couple more. We got Gort the Crusader. Love you, D-Mac. Keep rocking the show. You rock indeed. Appreciate you guys as always. But we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you so much for sure. Love to see that. See you guys. And if you're new to the channel, by the way, subscribe to the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button so you're eligible for all of our giveaways. Drop some comments, guys. Do hashtag DN giveaway, because I want to get some ideas for the next giveaway. So and do that when the show ends on the comments of the actual post-game show. So be sure to do that. Thanks again, guys. As always, appreciate it. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, join the Discord. Thousands of Dodgers fans were chatting just like you guys are in our Discord. It was a lot of fun, very dramatic, very hype, very electric. What a night in Dodgerland. But that's going to do it, guys. Remember, nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly